Okay, we are live. Hopefully doing well for all of you. We're going to be trying out Martial Arts Assassin first. We're not going to be starting with the controller on it, but we will test out the controller with it. As far as the tests I'm going to do today, they're going to be lightweight tests. We're not going to do the full plus test because that's... Usually I run through those several times, which can be a little bit tedious to actually watch, so we'll see kind of how that goes. This should be, yeah, it's publicly visible. Everything is good up. So hopefully, yeah, everyone is all right. So let's see. So anyway, usually whenever I start a new build, I'll use a token, reset everything. Right now we are completely reset. I've got all the stuff that I need transferred over as far as these go. These are just basic martial arts ones. So I don't have anything too wild in here. I have a couple decent charms to like make up some of the gaps, but I also have some of my like weaker charms in here to kind of reflect that a little bit more. Hey, Travis, how's it going? You doing all right? But anyway, we have, like, actually transferred some of this stuff, so, and yeah, we are recording. So we're going to probably just test, like, kind of the core stuff, not do, like, all the little, like, side areas unless we have a lot of fun with this build. I'm going to start with Mara's setup. We could go with the faster attack speed. I'm going to have that right there, just in case we want to go with Fade instead of Burst of Speed. Hey, CL and Handsome Devil, how you guys doing? So we are starting with martial arts. Ready to get this update? Yeah. There's some interesting stuff in it, definitely. So what we want to do... Oh, well, I'm glad I actually have... Well, I do actually want to do that. I want to get you right there. But, yeah, we have martial arts, which is going to be our main focus. We're going to be doing Phoenix Strike starting out, and we actually want 1 point in each of those as well. I'm just going to get my core points in there. We have 80 points left, so definitely want max Phoenix Strike. Just going to see if we can make this work properly. I have a little bit of a different take on it from most of the other people so far. I'm actually going to be using Crescent Moon. I'm going to be using Crescent Moon, Phoenix, and Nightwing's Veil to kind of mix it up and go really kind of heavy on the elemental. I do have an alt set up here with Medusa's Gaze and Voice of Reason. Not sure if we're going to use those right out the gate or not, but it's there. So you just made an Explode Boa Light Fury hybrid. I've been experimenting with the Poison Javelin personally. Been having a lot of luck with it. Got your Summon Necro to Hell finally today. Rams game tomorrow with some whiskey and baby backs. Tasty. Hopefully the babies don't mind. I know what baby back ribs are. Okay, so as far as skills go, we're going to go with that. And since we're going with the setup that we have... I think, yeah, we do actually have the points to mess around with those if we want. We do have 3 kicks on this, which is the only important thing on this is that we have the 3 kicks. I don't care about getting it higher because we're not going for a standard kick sin. We're just going for triggering all 3 of them at once. So we do have the points to spare, and as we level up further, we could actually dump more points into that. This means we aren't getting a shadow, which kind of sucks a little bit, but I think we'll be okay. That, or we can just go straight into the 2 that I was planning on going with, which is going to be Fists of Fire up to 20, Claws of Thunder up to 20. So we have Fire and Lightning going. So that's not bad damage. Now we need to get the rest of our gear on. So I'm going to go ahead and get my stats up. That should be close enough. Get those on. And we're not going to start with T-Gods. We might actually end up using it eventually, but that's just up in the air. So we have a few more things to equip. I'm going to go for the boots first. So let's get up to 156. Well, close enough to it. Get ourselves the boots, the shield, and then the last thing is actually Crescent Moon. So, and the reason I went with Phoenix is mostly because of the redemption thing, but it will actually help our physical damage a bit. Just having that little bit of extra damage in there, it's going to basically give us a few hundred attack damage. Not a lot, but it's enough. Okay, now the question becomes, do we actually want to max block? Which would be a little bit of a pain. Or do we want to go a little bit... Actually, I'm going to go ahead and get enough strength for this. I know I shouldn't right now, but might as well just test them at the same time. we have enough gear to make up the gap of not having enough strength. I mean, not having enough other stats. One more. There we go. We've been running a Bone Necro and Summon Necro simultaneously because the Summon one gets a little boring. Found Monarchs just replaying Hell with your Sorceress. Awesome. The Bone Necro is just kind of just chill. Yeah, with the Bone Wall and stuff, I find him kind of relaxing. I have caffeine and non-caffeine. I'm going to be alternating between them. So as far as our other stats, I'm going to go ahead and just not go block. I know that's a travesty. Generally speaking, for melee, you want to go block, but since we dumped extra into strength for this, I think we want to go ahead and get our life up because we're not using Call to Arms. So generally speaking on this, you would want to use Call to Arms on your swap. We're just going to be testing two things at once. So let's get our 1200 life. That should be more than enough for what we have. We've got okay resists. That might lean me more into using Fade. We still have 23 points left to actually kind of mess around with too. So do we want to see Blades of Ice all the way up as well just to maximize the damage? I think we might. Let's go ahead and just do it. Hey, Nonovis, how's it going? Hey, you got your Hodo? Awesome. It's a really good... I love Hodo. It's one of my favorite pieces of equipment. It's a little overpowered, but it's nice. So we've got max on all of these. So I guess what we want to actually dump into next... Do we want it? We don't have enough points to get down. Well, we do have enough points to get down to Shadow Warrior. I want to get down to Shadow Master, possibly. I'm not too worried about Venom. It's a little bit of extra damage over time, but we're not testing that, so it's not really a big deal. Got plenty of bursts of speed going on. So... And we could go Dragon Talon and just have Kixin as backup, just in case. We'll leave the points floating for now. And yes, I actually do testing with them floating every now and then. So we want F1, F2, and we want Phoenix Strike on right. So that's going to be that. Oh, we want Burst of Speed starting out. Because are we doing... Yeah, we're doing plus skills first. So... And we want E and F. So you're going to be F, you're going to be E. And we have everything kind of set up. Sweet. So we have Burst of Speed to get us up to max attack speed. We have kind of the charge up there. I'm going to go ahead and set a G as well, which is going to be... Oh, nope, not that. Oh, never mind. No, we don't need to set a G. We can just have that there. So, first off, we're going to just test it on something easy. Just because that seems like a smart idea first. So let's find some just trash mobs. And just start ripping into them. Yeah, that's not too bad. And yeah, we can charge up to 2 or we can charge up to 3. Our actual like main attack, unfortunately, is not doing much damage, but it's not terrible. And it seems like if we charge up to all 3, I don't think we actually get all the damage we want. So let's go ahead and get 3 charges up. Is it actually dropping the meteors? Yeah, it's dropping the meteors. Boom. So yeah, this is not bad damage. Yeah, that's... I mean, it's not as smooth as some of the other builds that we've done, but it's not bad. I think we're going to run into troubles about Act 4, if I had to guess. But since we're doing a light test, that means that we're just basically doing cows. We're doing Andariel. We're doing Duriel. We're doing... I might actually need to go get the actual tomb for Duriel. But we're doing Duriel. We're doing... Yes. Probably... I don't know if we're going to actually do the Counselor or not. It's a light test. I might not. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. So first things first, let's just try some cows. They're a good little like test platform as well. And I don't have the maps revealed on this character. This is my lower level assassin. So it's kind of one of those where it's like, maybe we don't want to actually use the one that I'm still doing different Blade Fury tests on. Because even though I have released the Blade Fury video, I'm going to probably also do a actual proper Blade Fury where it's just... And I didn't put my potions on. We'll be fine. But we'll probably do a proper Blade Fury where it's just actual raw damage eventually, rather than our proc Fury, which I actually really liked doing the proc Fury. It's a lot of fun to just shoot everything everywhere. And I just don't want to have to like spend points to respec her a few more times, because we have her kind of set up on that, and I can actually use that for the future one as well. I like Blade Fury, but I liked it before too, so that's kind of one of those things where it's like, this is not bad. Superior Tyrant Club. And yes, I am picking up a ton of unnecessary white items. There's reasons. So, oh, it's only increased durability. That's not worth it. If it was increased damage, that would actually have been worth keeping. But for now, we're just going to go with what we have. And yeah, main reason is future-proofing. If I have the items and they do a 2.5 PTR, I don't have to go gather more items. I've been gathering items since the release of D2R as a sort of like anticipation of this kind of stuff, though. So I do have a decent stock. And overall, this is not feeling bad. It's just not the strongest thing ever. So it's shooting out across the ground like that. That is the Hellfire Torch. I actually have a really crappy assassin one. I need to farm some more of those just to get a better assassin one, but I can't be arsed. I don't really rely on it as like the cornerstone of any of my builds. It's just kind of a nice to have. And yes, it does help out a ton. The +3 skills is great, but and he's not too bad. So maybe I'm underestimating this build. We do actually probably need to be using potions and stuff like that rather frequently. Unfortunately, because... Oh, I did not mean to pick that up. Go away, Short Spear. Want to get the gold. There we go. But, yeah, we don't leech very much. We have a dual leech ring just because I figured it's good to keep the mana topped off, but I don't have like a lot of life leech on this yet. We do have this just in case, so whenever we get into longer fights we can, but it's there. Never got one of those, just never seen the animation pop off like that. Ah. Yeah, it's what you get for beating the Uber events. Oh, and we got a 3-socket one. That reminds me, I need to actually do a different video. There's a video that I was planning on doing that is basically the impossible items video that are the possible impossible items. I do have a Wurt's leg that I need to do something with to create an impossible item. Let's see. Is Lightning Trapson still the best assassin, or do Fire Traps and Martial Arts trump it? I have... The Fire one does not. It doesn't beat it. But... And I didn't mean to throw those on the ground. I meant to shift, not control. But... No, the Fire one is not better. The Martial Arts one we're testing right now. I don't know if it's going to be better or not. Probably not. I'd wager the Lightning Trap Assassin is still going to be best. The Rising Sun Amulet used... Okay. The Rising Sun Amulet used on anything, or is it char seafood? It's used for PvP sometimes. It's got like niche uses, but it's not a meta item, if that makes sense. It's one of those things where, yeah, it'll do a lot of work whenever it's necessary, but you're usually better off with a +2 skiller. Usually. Not always. And with the emphasis on fire this time, I would wager that they're going to go up in price. And yeah, this is actually not bad. This is players 1, but that's still, like, compared to the old one, this is actually not too bad. Let's go ahead and get that going. Save the mercenary from all the champions. I'm not thinking this is bad. Yeah, this is working out okay. Let's go ahead and back off of that. We'll drink that potion. So I'm not unimpressed. We are amp damage, so going against cows like toe-to-toe is not necessarily the best of ideas. But we'll deal with it. Is that weird lightning the Blade Fury? No. We are a martial arts assassin, not a Blade Fury. But the weird lightning is Phoenix Strike. And it's pretty potent. We can actually look at the stats right there. It's gonna do 3 to 7,700 damage. It's not insane amounts, but it's enough that, hey, this can actually, you know, punch some things hard. And we can kind of move on and let the fire from the meteor finish off whatever we were fighting with at first, because these things are not immune to anything. But yeah, the weird lightning, and this is one of the situations where the weird lightning kind of kicks you in the ass. It's basically you end up doing more damage to the wall than the enemies. I might have to turn no pickup on. Yeah, it's not a super... It was, well, in 2.3, it's not a super common skill. We're going to see this a lot more in 2.4, simply because the charge-up setup, and we can actually trigger all three with a Dragon Talon of... I forget what the minimum level for it is, but we hit it with plus skills anyway. And while you have a charge-up, it's guaranteed to hit. So you will always trigger all three if you have 3 kicks. So you have a meteor, lightning. Now, there is next delay. So there is a... on the ice and the lightning skill, not on the fire skill. But yeah, there is a next delay on it. So you can't really pair this with the other charge-ups very well. You could charge them up, but it wouldn't actually do the damage because there's next delays. Unlike Claws of Thunder and this. So that's why we went with the sword instead of a claw base. When does 2.4 release? They have not officially announced it. I think they're still planning to do some adjustments to make it a little bit more possibly balanced. I still stand by the fact that I think they should make it so that the auras from like the Double Dragon and stuff like that aren't a whole big problem. Basically make it so that they don't do the distance scale if they're from equipment. Only do the distance scale if it's your active aura. Which means you'll see that thing running with a lightning. Yeah, there we go. We're beating this guy up pretty good. But you'll only see it with a Infinity Mercenary being quite that strong. But even then, the Infinity Mercenary doesn't get anywhere near negative 150 like the Paladin can. I don't think there should be a passive build that doesn't have anything to worry about in Hell Players 8. So... and they go down. Now, is this going to be probably the new meta for the Assassin? Probably not. We're intentionally not using the traps. I got that point in it just for like a just-in-case point, in case this turned out to be a lot weaker than I anticipated. But so far, it's working out pretty good. And with our Myrmidon boot versions of Gore Riders, it's actually working out quite well. You do think they still need to buff some of the skills that they tweaked? Like Mages and the Mages Fend and... Fend, I need to test a bit more. It wasn't terrible for what it is. But it is definitely something that you only use in a pack of enemies. For a single enemy, you still use Jab. And Jab could use some buffs. But... to each their own, I guess. I would like to see, if not as part of buffing the Plague itself right now, I would like to see a future rune word that you can put on shields that reduces enemy poison resist. Or possibly on helmets. Helmets would be fine too. That boosts poison skills as well would be kind of cool. But I think that's what the Plague Javazon needs. Because right now, your problem with the Plague Javazon isn't getting the damage. It's getting the damage through. So that's one reason why I'm like, the Plague Javazon, I've tested it. I'm working on builds with it. It gets okay. And against some enemies, it's actually kind of nice. But it just lacks the piercing that the Necro Poison Nova has. And it's actually close enough damage. that it could possibly compete with it. It's just not quite there. As far as buffing the mages, they have to be really careful with the mages because that is like one of those multiplicative things where the more skills you get, the more each buff helps. So like if you make it so that one mage is super strong, and whenever you have like 5 magi, that's 5 times as strong. So it gets a little bit chancy to keep upgrading those. And yes, we are just kind of like taking this a little bit more chill route, so I'm not like holding myself to a timer or anything. Normally I would to an extent, and then just have little segments where I slow down so you can see what's happening while I'm recording it. I am recording this. I might actually use this footage in the build video for this and argument as to why I'm choosing Crescent Moon over some of the other stuff, but you saw Macro Boy demo a Plague Javelin with Death Web on swap, but you'd hate to always think of... Yeah, that's one thing I'm trying to avoid with the build. That does work, by the way. The way it works is if you throw the Plague Javelin in front of the enemies and then switch to Web, when they walk through it, they suffer from the minus poison res penalty. Whereas if they get poisoned while you have the Javelins out, switching it doesn't really do much. So you have to poison them after you've swapped. So it's a juggling act. It works, but it's a juggling act. New updates to the mercenaries are nice, but you don't think it's enough to pull people away from Act 2 mercenaries? I'm having a lot of good luck with the Act 5 mercenary. I think the Act 5 mercenary is in a very good spot now. I think people are still thinking of him as just the like raw damage build. I think that's a mistake. I would recommend anyone who is disenchanted by the Act 5 mercenary to try out a plague build with an elemental character. Anything good in there? Oh, we got Saigons. Woo! And yeah, I'm actually just straight kicking right now just to get my life back up. That's one thing this build can do, because we actually have enough physical damage. Thanks to Phoenix. You'd prefer a health buff for the mages and maybe a slight damage upgrade just so you don't have to revive every 2 seconds? I've only run them with regular skeletons alongside them. Except for the one little test we did with the Fire Golem. But, yeah, they're going to generally have to be squishy. I would like to see them get more damage, but I wouldn't want to see them bumped up life-wise. I want them to have a risk of death. Yeah, Act 5 Mercenary aggro helps a ton with your survivability, and their battle cry makes him survive, like, orders of magnitude better than this doofus. So the survivability of the Act 5 Mercenary is insane. As long as you pull the range attackers, he'll be fine. And even the range attackers do struggle taking him down sometimes. So actually, I do need to check one thing before we go in there. And I didn't repair before starting all of this, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to repair now, and we're going to see how much damage we do to our stuff going through this. Probably not a lot. Our shield is probably going to be the main point of it. And that was already down a little bit on durability. And yes, this is a superior Phoenix. I don't use it enough to have it be a problem, so. And I haven't recast my burst of speed. We've been going at the slow speed this entire time. That tells you anything. That was our slow speed. Yeah, I might need to just dump points into burst of speed just to keep it up longer. Because I forget to like redo my buffs a lot. And the one thing I'm not looking forward to with this build is actually going to be the whole Act 3. Finding Mephisto. And I really am just interested in how it performs against certain things. I couldn't click on that guy. That dude was unclickable by me, so I'm glad that I had the mercenary. How many sockets? 1 garbage. And there he goes. But yeah, Act 5 mercenaries are probably the ones that I think got the best, and they're the ones that are in the best place. The Act 1 mercenaries are interesting, not quite there yet, but they are definitely an improvement over what they were. The Act, and I will actually most likely be using Act 1 mercenaries on my casters from here on out, especially necromancers, just because they're easier to keep alive. But for insight, if you're wondering what I'm talking about with that one. But as far as Act 3 mercenaries, they're not there yet for me. They just don't justify themselves yet. The Act 3 mercenaries are the big disappointment of the mercenary power change. They can be made to be... They're better than they were, is about the nicest thing I can say about them. So, it's kind of like with Thorns. Thorns is better than it was. Is it good yet? No. But it's better than it was. And I can see some uses for it. It's just... It's not great. And I need to pick those up for reasons. If you ever see me picking up random crap, there are reasons for it. Just not always going to be telling them. But I'm liking this so far. It's not the fastest build we've done. Zealot is a bit faster. But for a melee build that's just kind of like putzing around, it's comfortable. Ow. I just whacked my knuckle. Of course, we are using relatively expensive equipment, and the martial arts assassin wasn't terrible before, it just wasn't good. Like, she was survivable. Usually ended up just being a kicksin. But Phoenix is nice. You have an Avenger Paladin, and you wanted to run an Act 3 mercenary. It wouldn't really do much for you, unfortunately. You could, like, I mean, Vengeance doesn't do anything with enchant, so it's not going to be really providing you any benefits there. Vengeance is based on the listed weapon damage. Listed as in the one on the actual weapon. Like, if I were to use Vengeance with this, it would be based off of 88 to 99. Why didn't they fix the max damage ED bug in 2.4? I haven't tested it. Oh, and for those of you wondering, oh, it's ethereal. Actually, I need to keep that one then. I almost didn't even pick it up. We'll identify it, though. Yes. That one I haven't tested to see if it's fixed or not. Chances are it's not, but that needs to go over here. But yeah, that's the Impaler, blah, blah, blah. It's a thing. We're not going over it right now. But yeah, that bug has been around for ages, and I don't know why they haven't fixed it. I don't know why they haven't fixed the mana burn bug. I mean, the mana burn bug is still 100% in effect. And we're going to go ahead and put those points into Burst of Speed just so it lasts longer, because I am tired of recasting it all the time. So up we go. We just want the stairs. I don't really care too much about testing against the rest of these guys, because we've already killed everything that we can here, except for the whatchamacallits, the vampires. There we go. These guys. So let's go ahead and drop meteors. Yeah, the meteors are actually doing fairly decent. Of course, they did decent before, too, because they are a boatload of damage. And this is where we need to start using that. We'll just teleport you. That's one nice thing about the assassin. She does have teleport. Hey, Christopher, how's it going? But yeah, they have several bugs they haven't fixed that I'm just like, why you no fix? There you go. And an Ort rune. I'll go ahead and pick it up. I am hoarding runes. I have probably like 70 Ort runes, so it's not like it's a big deal. I use them for other things, though. And I don't even know how many more on the old Go Mule. For those wondering, I've transferred a lot of stuff. I have not transferred my entire, like, rune thing, because I transfer them via characters, but sheesh, it's a lot of stuff. Let's see. What are your thoughts for console players? Because it feels like they're being left out without lobbies or even being able to make password games. I haven't played on console. I can't give like a first-person account of it. There are a lot of things that need fixing. The multiplayer is one of them. They really need to figure out a way to do... I hate to say it, and it's going to probably piss off some console PvPers, is they need to probably figure out a way to do cross-platform. Let people play with the people on Windows. And with the shift over to... And with this is a year out. Well, a year and a half. But whenever Microsoft finally acquires Blizzard Activision, I wouldn't be surprised if we see Xbox move to be able to play with PC. Nintendo and PlayStation are a little bit different though. So I don't know if they'll ever actually get it. Boom. This is actually kind of relaxing to play. It's a little bit, it's just right click 3 times and then left click. And you just decimate everything on the screen because you do so much damage to everything. Of course, this is players 1, but still. It's not bad for a build that used to be considered like C tier at best. Probably closer to D tier. Now I'd put it as this is actually passable. Hey, and Ariel. There you go. Got an amulet. Not going to identify that just yet. No, the cross-platform that I could see happening would be Xbox to PC. So PC would be part of it. But I think they need to, just to give console players a little bit more access to stuff. And also, it's one of those things where... Oh, by the way, that's Duriel's shell. You played both, but you think at least lobbies should have been there. So, yeah, lobbies should have been there, even if it just had to use the on-screen keyboard. It would have been ideal. Let's see, a sizable amount of people quit or went on strike. That includes a number of Blizz employees. Can't expect that to take... I'm trying to expect that get any steam behind it. Okay. Now the strike about the strike things and firing things, that actually doesn't have anything to do with the people who are working on D2R, believe it or not. The strike is Raven, which is a QA firm that is owned by Activision Blizzard's. They are trying to form a union to kind of basically unite themselves because some people were wrongfully terminated. So they kind of did their thing there. The firings were all over the place. It was them trying to shut people up, which I can't get behind, but with Microsoft acquiring them, there's at least a little bit of hope in the future that it's not going to be that way. You saw a build yesterday with Eth throwing weapon with Amp proc using Tiger Strike and Dragon Tail. This dude was hitting for over 100k damage, rating 78,000 on kick damage. He had max up Shadow Dancer. The Shadow Boots, yeah, those aren't bad. That's a actually relatively old build. Admittedly, the I'm forgetting the name of the actual weapon, but I know which one you're talking about. The Javelin wasn't part of it, but it's actually an old build. You charge up your Tiger Strike, and then you do that. But with the 3 kick thing, we might actually be able to pull something off with that. Can Deckard Cain identify inside the Project Cube in PTR? Probably not. No. Because we actually identified this while that... I was one of these was in there. And I actually do, by the way. I'm going to go ahead and Alt-Tab real quick. Whenever we go to the Go Mule, I made a screen for it. It was the QA teams that went on strike. Unless you're talking about the other strike, the one that happened before this. I'm going to set that over there. Get myself to the water. Now, the Dragon Tail, by the way, I don't know if they changed it. They probably didn't. This, if you use it on a physical immune, will do 0 fire damage. It converts it after the damage is calculated. So, just a heads up. So, if you, like, use it on a ghost, it does 0 damage. Hey, Chris, how's it going? Let's see. I'll do Arcane Sanctuary. We don't know which tome it is. Tomb, whatever. So, Burst of Speed, just to get that up. And we'll try this area. Did they make it so that it actually works on... I mean, I suppose we could test. Let's go ahead and... Where is it? Dragon Tail. Oh, well, it's gone. Yeah, these guys are going to get ripped down by this other stuff. Let's just... I need to just find a pack of ghosts by themselves. The actual kick damage on this, not too bad. I mean, we do decent physical damage, so it's like, okay, we could go through like this. But... let's find a ghost pack. There's a ghost pack. And yeah, we're just hitting him with fire damage on that one. The actual, like, Hellfire Torch. Because I need to test that a little bit further, but I don't think it's working how we want it to. We'll test it later. It's not exactly something super high on the list just yet. They changed it and buffed the percent by 20% per level. Groovy. Is Concentration Aura a bug interaction with Blessed Hammer, or is it's intentional? The Concentration Aura is 100% intentional with Blessed Hammer. I think it should have been toned back a little bit, but it is fine. Yeah, we find the perfect pack to test it on after we switch off of it. Okay. We haven't actually had to use a potion yet, other than one healing potion earlier. Personally, you're looking forward to the patch, as long as they fix a few busted things in the current PTR. I'm hoping they actually listen to the variety of feedback whenever it comes to the Double Dragon Holy Fire Paladin, Trogdor, basically. The Trogdor build we did. I'm hoping they listen to all the feedback on it. I still think my solution's probably, of course, considering I made my solution, of course I think it's probably the better one, but I think an item-focused approach to the solution is going to be the better option, because the skill itself is fine. There's just that specific use case where you're doubling and doubling on top of having, like, all this other stuff going. It makes it a little bit sketch. Boom. Everything dies. This is just satisfying to have everything launching everywhere. We could switch over and try the Medusa's Gaze for a little while, if we wanted to. And I'm not going to do the full test, like I said. I'm not going to go after, like, all the farming areas and things like that. Usually whenever I'm doing a build test, I'll choose 2 level 85 areas outside of, like, the required ones. And I'll usually do a handful of other things, but I need that. I don't know Llama personally, so I don't think there's an Act 6. I've heard the rumors, but I don't think there's an actual Act 6. Let's go ahead and dump that in there. Tropical Council always spawns split on PTR. You can't make them spawn all in lower or upper. I've had them all spawn inside the building. So, yeah. It's just, you have to have the RNG for it. And also, you need to reset your map, because the map can actually force it to always spawn split. They could remove synergies for item given skills. Then that would make the items useless. That's like kind of, that's the delicate balance. Because they're expensive items. They need to still have a function. It's just, they need to function just a slight bit less. And if they allow it to have, like, all the normal functionality it has now, i.e. just getting the bonuses from masteries and synergies and all that kind of stuff, but just take away the multiplier whenever it's from an item. That way you only double once, because you're running conviction with it, usually. It should rein it in a little bit. You'll still have people running an Infinity Mercenary with it, but then you won't have basically packing lower resist and Infinity. I mean, lower resist and conviction on the same enemies, thanks to using the Act 5 Mercenary. By the way, if you are going to do a Holy Fire Paladin build with the double dragons and stuff like that, I would 100% recommend the Act 5 Mercenary with it. You just found a Stone of Jordan? Congratulations! Welcome to Streamer Luck. Seriously. For some reason, people who like listen to the stream while they're magic finding seem to find a lot of good stuff. I don't know why. I think it's probably just because you get into the zone usually, and it's just, I'm listening to a stream. It's the same thing that happens whenever I'm like watching Critical Role and stuff like that. It's just, they just do their own thing, and then all of a sudden I'm like halfway through the stream of theirs, and I have found like 12 things that I was looking for. I think it really is just the little bit of distraction on top of the mindless farming. But yeah, as it stands right now, doing like the 100 or 1,000 run challenges on specific bosses and stuff like that is going to be a lot easier on that paladin. For sure. Let's see. How are we looking on durability? None down. Sweet. They need to create really good items where 1,000% to Frozen Orb, just like Diablo 3. I know people who want that. It's definitely something certain people in the community want. I don't. I really don't. And I probably... I mean, I have Dragonflight. I'm not really using it very often. It's more just... Hi. Every now and then I just throw it down and it's just like, okay. Boom. And yeah, this is actually proving pretty easy. I think we'll hit a little bit of a struggle in Act 3, and then I think once we get to Act 4, we're going to start feeling our squishiness. And then Act 5, I think we'll have a little bit of trouble with the Ancients. I always do the Ancients even whenever I'm doing just a light pass on this, like the initial tests. I always do the Ancients because they are kind of like the big check for me, because that's used for rushing. Let's see. I think they need more rune words with teleport. I wouldn't mind seeing a weapon with teleport. Specifically, a weapon. I don't want to see it on a shield. I want to see it on a weapon. This way you have to choose between attack power and teleport. So you can teleport in and then just wreck face by swapping weapons, but it takes up your CTA slot. Just like I wouldn't mind seeing another like CTA item, style item in armor slots. But that's just one of those things. I would want it lower level in the armor slot, but that way you're not stacking up to like 20 billion battle orders as a non-barbarian, but yeah. Is there a way to reset your hero in PTR, or do you have to make a new one? If you're doing online, you have, it should say like MISC for the name of the character. That one will have all of these on it. And you can just transfer those using your shared stash to actually ding them and then delete him, and it'll reload a new one in with more tokens. Move teleport to any charm. Change Uber Diablo spawn to at least every player on the server needs to sell at least one. I think they're going to be changing Uber spawn to be a global event, like on every server. So and that's just going to be a thing. I don't think they're going to get their hands on it enough to ruin it. as far as the Diablo 3 players. I do think we're seeing some power creep with this patch, which is not what I wanted to see. I wanted to see some things come up to that. But as it stands, there's even more of an argument for the Paladin being said to be the strongest class in the game now. Again. I mean, he already was. Like, hands down, the strongest class in the game. Because he's top 3 in every category. And with the Holy Fire Paladin, that's just another build to his belt that's actually player's 8 viable without even breaking a sweat. So, yeah, this is live. I even read the stream, my dudes. Okay, hell, at this point, just throw the teleport on a spirit sword, just make it a higher level requirement. I don't agree with the sentiment of nerfing spirit proper. I mean, I could see, like, making the plus skills on it variable. Say, +1 to +2 variable. But I'm not a big proponent of, like, let's completely nerf this. Because the shield requires a monarch, which you're only going to find in hell difficulty. The sword is really easy to get, but it's a +2 weapon. You can get +2 wands relatively easy as well. You can get +2 staves relatively easy, so why shouldn't the other classes have access to it? You hope I find a jaw? This is single player. I have, like, I forget how many jaws. I want to say like 7 or 8 left. I found a few more. But we've messed around with a few builds since then. He was forwarded to the stream from a video. Didn't know it was live. Oh. I am glad the videos are helpful. And hopefully things are going well for you. And we are currently experimenting with a martial arts assassin. I'm actually liking this. Let's switch over to... Oh, we don't have enough mana for Dragonflight. We're going to have to kick you in the face the old-fashioned way, Summoner. There you go, good sir. I'm actually surprisingly finding very few, and it's a little bit disconcerting. It's a triangle, by the way. It's slightly disconcerting that I'm finding very few keys. It's like they lowered the chance from that. Would gloves and boots be able to have sockets be a good boost to the game? 2 gloves and 2 boots. 2 sockets each. Maybe some low rune words made for them. Notification bell isn't working for you. Notification bell has been... Okay, there's 3 things with that. One, notification bell, they intentionally broke, first of all. That was end of 2020, I want to say, when they actually broke it the first time. So it won't send out like emails and stuff like that. That was the first change they did. And they also made it so that you have to have notifications from YouTube in general and notifications from the channel on to actually get them. So it's kind of like, why? But hopefully you're doing all right, Father Howie. Leveling solo through hardcore for the first time, about to hit hell. What class, Crisis? Have I tried the Hydra Orb build? Yes, I have a video for it on the channel. It's the Hydra 2.4. And it works out quite solid. There's a lot of people who put hate onto it because, oh no, Orb's not Blizzard, but Orb is fine. Orb is plenty strong. So, Orb is your best choice if you have less than 30 points to spend. Okay. Oh yeah, everything is frozen. There we go. See, Necro Summoner main on softcore. Okay, yeah, Necro. You should be pretty good with that. That's a pretty solid first time hardcore character. And yeah, this is doing a little better against these packs than I thought it would. Especially considering we're ramping up, which we might actually level on here. Sweet. Tried on PTR and it's pretty awesome. Yeah, Hydra is a lot of fun. The video on it right now is the endgame version. When 2.4 releases, I'll probably have a budget version as well. Because there's differences in strategies if you're converting to a Hydra Orb versus going through the game as a Hydra Orb. So what am I wearing? Jake from State Farm? Khakis and a shirt. But no, we're using Crescent Moon. This one's mainly for 2 reasons. We've got Ignore Target Defense and Enemy Lightning Resist Reduction. The mana after each kill is nice. Some of the other stuff is okay. Static Field on striking, it is what it is. But we also have Nightwing's Veil for plus skills and cold damage. You have a Rainbow Facet in it. Gonna solo Ubers once you get the gear. Crushing Blow is your friend, and Telestomping. And make sure you have decent block for that. And Bone Armor is going to be important if you're doing Ubers. Every boss is dropping multiple unique and set items for you. Yay! We've got Chains of Honor for resist and plus skills. I could use Enigma and just use Teleport, but we have Dragonflight. We have Morrow's Kaleidoscope because I didn't feel like tracking down any of my good Assassin amulets. We have Phoenix for minus fire resist, extra physical damage for whenever we're charging up, and Redemption Aura to keep us topped off, because that helps us out a lot with Leech. We actually have Leech and stuff like that for bosses as well. Safest Ubers build? Yeah, probably Summoner is the safest, and probably the fastest is going to be your budget, as far as budget goes, and going to be a Paladin with Smite. We've got Gore Riders up to Myrmidons for Crushing Blow and Chance of Open Wounds. Deadly Strike does not work with kicks. We have Ravenfrost for Cannot Be Frozen Dexterity. This for damage reduction. And that's about it. We could do better on the belt. Dual Leech Ring that we toss around onto every martial class. And Dracul, and it also keeps our mana topped off here with this. This is the main reason for that ring. And then we have Dracul's Grasp for life tap. And we also have more open wounds. We have... What percent chance do we have of open wounds? 60% chance. So every other hit. Every other hit, we make them bleed. But as far as doing the Ubers to get my torches and stuff, I literally just used a Smiter. I know, it's cheese, but as soon as D2R launched, I was like, okay, I'll equip up a Smiter, do it, and get it over with. I have the gear to make it just easy as balls, so I got myself a bunch of them. Because I had a ton of keys. Let's see. Smiter and Key Source at ladder start will make you rich, yeah. Because everyone's wanting their perfect torches. And you can trade it for more keys than it costs you to actually get it. And as soon as things start dying, I stop dying. Mercenary, on the other hand, he's not so happy about. And honestly, the juggle with the mouse and keyboard on this is not bad. There we go. But yeah, that's relatively easy to do. You want to try the Kickstint Uber build with Stormlash? It's not bad. And I don't know if they fixed the bug, but there was a bug where Dragon Talon was guaranteed hit even without charges. I haven't been testing it. I mean, I could. I guess we could just go pure Kickstint for a little bit. It seems like... what's our chance to hit? Oh, we have Conviction on it as well, though. So that's not going to take into it. We have Conviction and we have Ignore Target Defense. Now, some people are going to be like, why are you combining that for, like, chance to hit? That is because Conviction will work on bosses and stuff, whereas Ignore Target Defense, it does not. Ignore Target Defense only works on non-special enemies. Like that Ghoul Lord, Ignore Target Defense does work on. Whereas, let's say we run across Sparkfist the Butthole. He's gonna just be like this guy right here. Our Ignore Target Defense didn't work against him. So we had to rely on the Conviction to actually do that. So, you're going through the game at your kind of pace, and this build setup looks... It's not bad. And it's expensive, but it's not like go broke, insane expensive. It's like I focused on this character and did it in like a month and a half of farming expensive. Can Soul Drainer gloves work on bosses? Let me see if I can remember what Soul Drainer does. That sounds like one of them that I very rarely use. So I'm alt-tabbed it just a second. The Vam Braces. Minus defense on hit. If I remember correctly, it does. And that mechanic is one that I know a lot of mechanics, but it's one that I haven't done a lot of like testing on. Because generally speaking, minus defense per hit has one major drawback. One, you have to hit first to actually get it to kind of function. And two, it's one of those where by the time you get it to a reasonable amount of minus defense, unless it's a boss, it's going to be a pain in the booty. Watching some when you could be playing. You can play and listen too. Still counts as a viewer if you're playing the game while listening to this in the background. I actually do that with some of my friends' streams over on Twitch as well. Which, yes, I do stream on Twitch. Just Diablo 2 is here. Twitch stuff is all the assorted other stuff like the art. It's basically my catch-all for stuff I don't do on YouTube. But... And I probably will actually do a stream over there tonight after we're done here if I have the energy. I might not have the energy, but we'll see. There is a dingus in here. Hi, I saw you reviving things through a wall. Can you just type anything you want and it falls in the PTR, or you have to use what they provided to you with all the characters? I have not tried just typing stuff. In they provide you stuff with the online characters. This is an offline character using my Go Mule stuff. So it's just one of those that I just have as a character. I'm using my own items. But they do provide you with like runes and some base items and stuff like that. They're not even great base items. Nope, I am not a dad. I don't want to be a dad. I refuse to bring children into this world. I'm an uncle. I make uncle jokes. So, do we think we'll have a problem with McDingus down here? Oh yeah, I need a healing potion. We'll let our charges disappear while I putz around and grab one of those. Did my charges actually go? No, they didn't go away. Okay, there they go. They disappeared right before we started fighting him. Let's see, does the meteor wreck his face? Not too much. It's not bad, but not too much. Excuse me. Great is an understatement for bases. Yeah, some of them are hot garbage. They didn't give us a good one for use with the, I'm trying to remember what sword rune word is. Unbending Will? They did not give us a good base for that. Which kind of frustrates me. I was kind of hoping for one. And yes, most of that repair cost is from my shield. Mainly because I just wanted to have a superior one. Just because. Don't recommend it. I was hoping for some comedy when you go to Duriel. Nah. Usually Duriel does not cause me a problem. He will pop you if you're not prepared for him, or if you are on a squishier build, but for the most part, he's just kind of like, "Hi, my name is Duriel. I'm here to sell you car insurance. Only $99 a month, you too can insure your Beetle." So, oh yeah, I forgot to check. I need to look at... First off, those, I'm looking... Oh, Glorious Axe. Yep. And the Scepters. Nope. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and toss that in there. It's best not to ask whenever I do weird stuff. So, yeah. We're going to go after the fun stuff. I have a feeling this is the part that's going to end badly. This is the part that I'm actually semi-worried about, because our fire resistance is not maxed out. We could go the Fade route, but where's the fun in that? Okay, so we're going to be charged up over here. Let's go ahead and just stay charged up from them. I know you're in there. So let's see. Do we die? Does our mercenary die? Does everything die? Actually, no. This is going just fine. Mercenary's going to die now that we've stepped away from there, but that's because he dies from Hydras. What? Well, that must have been a bug with me transferring the character, because this character's beaten hell. I don't know. Because I actually transferred this character over... Jeez. It would have been after the PTR launched. So that's a bit of an odd one. I haven't had that happen on any other character. That, or I might, whenever we did our playthrough, I might have actually skipped the council. I might have gotten the flail, run in there, and smashed it while they still had one alive. That's probably what actually happened. Because if I remember correctly, this one... No, this was Admiral Akbar. It was our trap assassin. Yes. We would have skipped it because the lightning immune. You just bought a magic axe out of nowhere and don't even understand the random reason for it. It's crafting. What's my favorite build so far? Ever? I am a huge fan of Bone Necros, just in general. They are one of the ones that I will almost always have at least one of. Poison Necros are up there too. I'm a big Necro player. But as far as the 2.4 changes, this one is winning me over. This one is actually proving impressive. The Hydra Sorceress is feeling a lot better. She's back to like her used to be strong self. You have the... I'm not impressed by the Barbarian, but there is something I want to test on him. I'm not going to test it today. It's the Grim Ward kind of stuff. We did do... Oh, no, 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 no's. Those are just a big pile of no's. So we have the little, like, explodey boys, which is unfortunate. But no, this one is feeling a lot better than I thought it would. The Hydra Sorceress actually feels good now. Nova Sorceress has always been good. They just made her slightly better. So not really just sitting in my favorite changes list at all. But and those guys are going to hurt if I stay close to them. So I need to let Mercenary handle those. But the Holy Fire Paladin, I actually already had a build of that before, so of course that's going to be one of those that I'm happy is improved, but I think it needs to be nerfed. And yes, I did play Trogdor a lot off screen, even like before 2.4 released. There was something just really satisfying about hitting things a screen and a half away. So, without even having to think about it. But now he's just wrecking everything from screen and a half away. Well, not wrecking it then, but still. He's doing just fine without any, like, challengers. We're going to level up, unless I get exploded by dolls. Which is kind of funny. Dobrunsky did a strafe build earlier with the top expensive gear, and he's claiming it's a notch better than the Multizon. For the most part, it feels about the same as the Multizon. Only reason I prefer strafe is it's lazier. Strafe is literally just walk into the middle of the room, hold down right click, and everything dies. That has been true since the dawn of time. It's just, it takes a little bit longer with strafe than with multi-shot and repositioning yourself. That said, the old Fist of the Heavens Gold Strike build doesn't work quite as good as it used to. It's still not back up to where it was. Let's see. Act 4 Holy Fire Paladin ain't clapping fast. He doesn't have to in Act 4. In Act 4, he just becomes a Zealot. Which is perfectly fine. Which, a Zealot can actually go through Act 4 relatively easily if you have the right gear. Throw some Crushing Blow on him and he's really fine. And yes, I am intentionally backing off and letting my Mercenary face tank these things. Mercenary? No, you went the wrong way, mercenary. Get them. Up and at them. I will teleport on your ass. There you go. Let's see. You kill more monsters than a sorceress, though, so you have a higher chance of good stuff. Yeah. Well, a sorceress can do AoE quite well if she's built for it. A lot of people go for, like, I'm just going to blizzard a boss and farm for uniques. And that is one of the big mistakes that people make, is thinking, oh, going for bosses and unique items is the way to go. That's not how you get rich in Diablo 2. Yes, some uniques, some rares and stuff like that can be worth a ton of, like, I hate to say it, forum gold. I don't use D2JSP for anything other than, like, a little bit on the forums. I don't do forum gold, but things can sell for a lot. Rares and uniques and stuff like that. Die, you fools. Go, mercenary, go! One second, and after I kill these guys, I'll catch up on chat. Looking at two screens is painful. Okay. You kill more monsters. Okay, let's see. Only need about 3 items left to get for your FOH on PTR. It's pretty nasty. It's doing 6k lightning damage. I need to test Fist of the Heavens on the PTR. The cooldown change is a pretty big deal. And I actually used the potion there because I was worried about the poison. So we'll need to pick up that. Oh no, we've already recovered everything. Oh, I need a healing potion. There we go. I picked up the full rejuve. Pretty sure you have the oldest account on D2JSP. I mean, I don't use it. I don't have an actual problem with people using it. It's just what brings me joy is testing out weird builds and trying to figure out the puzzle of going through solo self-found and stuff like that. So I don't really have a need for D2JSP. I'm not big on trading or anything like that. So it's just kind of like, okay, whatever. If other people want to use it, cool. There's a fairly big PvP community over there. About level 85 areas. Is there any difference in drop chances from act to act? I'm going to give you the answer of technically yes, but practically not really. Like, certain enemies have a better chance of dropping certain monster classes. I mean, certain item classes, but it's so marginal, it's not going to matter. Cooldown helped tremendously. You've been testing the farming areas and it works great. Travancore isn't easy as you need a mercenary big time. Let's see. But to each their own. Yeah. How you want to play the game, as long as it's not actively negatively impacting another group of people who are just trying to enjoy the game, I don't have a problem with. I'm not going to poo-poo on somebody for wanting to do PvP if I don't want to do PvP. It's just whatever works for you is what works for you. But honestly, the only thing that really rustles my jimmies, if we want to go that route, is when people do PKs. Whenever they just drop into a game and just chase a player down and kill them. That is ruining somebody else's fun for your own jollies. That is something that's jacked up. But other than that, I mean, if you want to PvP, PvP. If you want to do Players 8 all the time, do Players 8 all the time. I will point out whenever people brag about that Player 7 is just as effective for everything except for leveling. But it's just one of those things where it's like, okay. And oh yeah, they're actually already aggro on me. Sweet. I need to kill these little buggers. Hi, how you guys doing? Oh, and I for some reason thought he was, I don't know why I thought he was cold enchanted today. But he wasn't, so I used the potion unnecessarily. Let's go ahead and show that. Just doing some real quick housekeeping on the stream because there were a lot of caught messages. Some of them from bots. Okay. Also, you killed pretty much all the act bosses in about 15 seconds or less. That's max conviction running also. It's fun, expensive though. Yeah, I can understand that. You were PvP. Some hardcore players are crybabies. Personally, I do hardcore in single player. I won't do it online because I'm like, screw that shit. I'm not going to be at the whim of some freaking jacked up internet service. I don't trust them to keep my downloads steady. Why would I trust them with a character that I'm actually working on? So I'm gonna murder this guy. You were PvP for Resurrected, but since then PvM is way more fun. They're both fun in their own right. I avoid PvP stuff personally nowadays because it's not good for my mental health, because I tend to get... I have a very empathetic response to people, so if they're toxic, I start becoming toxic. If they're cool, I stay cool usually. It's just kind of like, it makes me not good because a lot of people are toxic in the PvP space. So I stick with PvM, and I like the puzzle. Gonna get really good drop soon. You need to make a Hammerdin and see what the fuss is about. The Hammerdins are pretty solid. There's a lot of places they can't do very well, though. Any tight spaces, they're screwed. That's one reason why they can't pass the red background test. Make a Fist of the Heavens in Act 2 and 4. It's basically God. I can understand that. In Act 4, it would be in Chaos Sanctuary that it's God. But... And down he goes! Boom. Honestly, he would have gone down faster if I just Dragon Taloned him. So from this stuff, I need the ring. I'm debating whether I want that battle hammer. I probably don't. We do want to check the dimensional blade for an ethereal. It's not. You have to look up both builds and flip a coin. Hammerdin is just whatever. But his main issue is there's several areas he doesn't do well in, like Maggot Lair. You have to have teleport to actually do that, which makes it a little bit of a pain in the butt. But it's not the worst thing ever. And let's go to you. Do I need any potions? No, but I do need scrolls. Let's double check the stuff. Now, if you're wondering why I check these can be jewelers of deflecting. Or jewelers of... Well, they can't be jewelers of Amosay, that's armor. But they can be 4-socket with the blocking stuff. Like, see, this is deflecting right here. It could be jewelers. And it could be a ward. The ward is the one that can get 4 sockets. Hammerdins and Maggot. Yeah. Autocorrect is a pain in the ass. Glad my phone doesn't predict well. I just get used to typing everything. But yeah, I check these just because you cannot get monarchs, but you can get wards. So they're a thing. And do I... I don't want to really bother with those. We could possibly get a good hammer, but it's not worth it. And yes, I am going through slower than I would normally with this build because I'm just kind of putzing around. I'm putzing around talking about various builds and we're just kind of like experimenting with this. So far, I would say that this would probably, if I was concentrating on it, pass the test. So, especially considering we keep forgetting to turn on burst of speed and stuff like that because I'm easily distracted. So, yeah, this works out pretty good. One of the rules for getting the red... There's a few rules I have for getting the red background. One, the build has to be able to beat hell difficulty without dying. Another one is it has to do the trial in a certain amount of time. Which a lot of builds don't. And the next one is that we have to be able to get through areas like this with, like, if we encounter an enemy, we have to kill that enemy. That's one of my rules, and that's one reason why the Hammerden does not get a red background. He's a specialist, not able to beat everything. Any other character test tonight? We might do one more. Depends on how long we kind of putz around on this one. I want to do more with the Plague Javazon, and I want to do more with the Fire Druid. The Fire Druid is not as impressive of a change as I originally anticipated. I mean, he feels better to play, but he's not that much stronger than he was in 2.3. Of course, I want to test an Armageddon variant of him, so we have him almost kitted out. I need to transfer a few items to him, like the Phoenix Shield from this one. But I'm going to go ahead and beat these up. But yeah, probably if we do another character tonight, it'll be the Fire Druid. Question, one of the items you can't find the best unique scepter for Fist of the Heavens. You saw that you could get a magic one where +3 FOH combat skills. Or is it possible to find one? To buy a magic one, just you have to vendor it. Act 3 Hell onward. Although you could actually get it from Act 1 Hell. And if you're high enough level, you could get from Nightmare too, but that's a different discussion. Basically, if you're looking for like a Caduceus, you need to be in Hell difficulty. If you're just looking for just like a War Scepter, anywhere in Hell you could possibly get that. You just have to find which merchant you like shopping at the best. Drognan's one that I like. This is getting slowed down by those fire immunes, though. That is definitely a thing. I thought about using Plague on this character, too. But at the same time, I don't want to make another Plague and use up all my resources. But yeah, fire immunes are definitely proving to be a little bit more of a hassle than the non-fire immunes. Bye. There you go. You need +6. Let's see. You really wish the Skelly Mages got a bigger buff. Still a wet noodle and 1 point wonder. Yeah, I don't see myself using Skeleton Mages except for on pure summoners. That said, where they used to do like kind of like just chunk the enemy life, they can actually kill things in one volley if you have like a full army of them and are teleporting around. They can kill things in Act 1 and Act 2 just by teleporting past them, and they'll just focus fire on the closest enemy. That's probably the closest thing I could see people doing with it, is spamming teleport. Just teleport, shoot, teleport, shoot, teleport, shoot, and just have them as a kind of like mobile turret. But yeah, if you need the +6, yeah, it's just going to be, I would just shop Drognan, honestly, in Hell difficulty. Get a map spawn where he's right by the door, go in and out of it. Or do, what's his face in Act 3 would actually be okay. Kara, if you have the right map layout, can be okay. I would avoid Act 4 and I would avoid Act 5 for shopping. But sometimes you have to shop in Act 5 for certain things. So I do that sometimes. Okay, so now we have bodies. Let's go ahead and murder everything. Oh, he's immune to physical. That's not going to save you, buddy. And yeah, I love just launching all of these different things out. This is just really satisfying. Even if it's not like S-tier kind of murder potential, it is definitely a lot better than I thought it was. And the Phoenix Shield is 100% pulling its weight. I think that is going to be one of the things that's going to become a staple of this particular build, is the Phoenix Shield. I can tell you that Sanctuary hasn't been touched, maxed out. It's killing, but nowhere near the speed of Holy Fire. Caps off in Nightmare and is useless in Hell. That's because it's just your undead killer. It's not even like that buffed. If they had like multiple items, now it's worth noting, Holy Fire itself is still a Nightmare difficulty skill. the only one that's hell difficulty is the dragon build. I mean, you can sort of make it work in hell if you do the expensive stuff like we did with the first Trogdor build. You could just alter it to not have Holy Fire on the gear. You could do like a Tesla Den with active cast Holy Fire or something. But it's not as strong. 1000% ED should clap it. If I remember correctly, that only affects the undead. I could be wrong, though. Let's go ahead. Hammerden can hurt all the things. Sanctuary only hurts undead. So let's go ahead and murder all these. Did you really? You little shit. Okay, he did. I don't even care that he died out there and we didn't get a drop from him. I hate those guys for flying away. How close are we to a level? We're actually pretty close. So now that we have corpses, and I don't even mind that I am freezing and shattering stuff, because we still, as long as we get like 4 or 5 corpses out of like an entire pack of enemies, we're fine. But yeah, I really do think Phoenix is one of the biggest workhorses in this that's not being recognized. Sanctuary for Demons for the win! That would actually be kind of nice if it was, even if it was just reduced efficiency versus demons. That would actually be a nice thing. And then you would have 0 bonus versus beasts. That would actually change the skill drastically. I am glad they are enjoyable. I'm not sure how long I'm going to be able to keep up the everyday post of Diablo, but I do actually plan to integrate other action RPGs into the channel and have Diablo 2 be guaranteed Monday, Wednesday, Friday, then have the other games be Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. The trick is I've got to figure out how to adjust my schedule so I can do that and the review channel at the same time. Hi, guys. Wow. Oh, we leveled up. Sweet. You are not... Stop running away, you fool. There you go. You fool! More vitality. Sure. And our skill points are going into Burst of Speed to make it last longer because I keep forgetting to recast it. Let's see. Is it me or did the game go creative art on the screen? Why is that still lingering? I'm actually... Did we trigger Blaze? Oh yeah, that's level 40 Blaze when you level up. I forgot that was even on there. What? It's like, what the heck is going on here? No, that's Phoenix. I was just talking about Phoenix, and I literally did forget it has Blaze on level up. I don't level up very often, because usually these tests are done with like upper 80s, 90s something level characters. She's kind of like a paladin and a sorceress in one, little bit weaker at each. Is it never worth using another strike on top of Phoenix? It depends on what build you're doing. Because I have a feeling we could make one that can use these, but since we use a sword, we're going Phoenix Strike. There is the possibility we could go for a Tiger Strike build. Because that can charge up to pretty nasty levels as well, because that's 1 point in it right there. It's level 17, but there's just 1 point into it. It has 20 more, I mean, it's 19 more levels it can go for. So it's not exactly a... I'm going to use a mana potion. But it's not exactly something that is going to struggle for damage. But it's all physical, so you're going to be like a boss killer. Once you run into physical immunes, Tiger Strike becomes useless. But it is what it is. There you guys are. And I love the cold at the start. If I was going to choose 2 of the elements, though, I would not actually... I would do the Blades of Ice last. simply because it just doesn't really... I don't need the extra cold damage. I just need it to freeze. I want the... Can I actually hit you? I might be too low level for doing the full-on, like, bail nonsense. Oh, no, I'm going to go ahead. Oh, no, no, no. There you go. I'm just throwing potions on him crazy, like. And that's actually an improved set item, by the way. That is Sazabi's, I think. He dead, by the way. But as far as... Unless... That actually is a question I have about your question. Do you mean, say, use something with it? Because things like Claws of Thunder, that's another thing. Each of the cold and the lightning have a next delay on them, and so does like Claws of Thunder. I forget if Fist of Fire does. I think it does, where you can only hit like once every 4 frames, so once every 1/5 of a second. So just Dragon Talon, Phoenix, Claws of Thunder, Blades of Ice. Yeah, if I wanted to save 20 points, this is where I'd cut them out first. And I'd probably put those 20 points into, say, like Death Sentry or something like that. Because you're going to have the same freeze length, if memory serves. Yeah, you're going to have the same freeze length, regardless of how many points you have in Blades of Ice. So, yeah. This is going to be your damage source. That and Claws of Thunder hits more things because it pierces. Whereas Blades of Ice follows the rules of Frozen Orb, where once one of the projectiles hits something, it be gone. So. Oh, I forgot. I actually had stuff in there to transfer. You don't want to use traps? If you wanted another skill to use, you could actually use it to bump up. Why did I put that in there? If you wanted to, like, if you're not going to use traps at all, you could use that 20 points in, say, maxing out Burst of Speed. If you use the Claw, you could do Claw Mastery. You could put it into Shadow Master if you wanted to. Cloak of Shadows, which would probably be a handy investment for us, because we're about to go to Act 5 and be gloamed to death. Yeah, you can cut out Blades of Ice. I mean, we're using Blades of Ice now because, one, we want to be able to test it with... Come on. Using the Voice of Reason if we want to, which is kind of a nice little combo. If you use Voice of Reason, we could actually get rid of Ravenfrost. The downside of Voice of Reason is we don't have Ignore Target Defense, whereas Crescent Moon does. You want to play a Fire Trap Sim, but it still sucks and suffers from next hit delay also. Yay. That, and I don't care what they do, this trap is going to be ass. This is not a good trap. Wake of Inferno is absolute garbage. So it's just like one of those, like, your high-level fire skill is absolute butt. What I think they should, and this is going to be a controversial opinion, and some people are going to be like, "Rah, that's a terrible suggestion." I think they should just rip Wake of Inferno out and replace it with a new fire trap. Make it basically like a trap that shoots flaming bone spirits or something that actually hits stuff. That's my opinion on it, but they're never going to do that. That would be mod territory. But that's one of those things where it's like, Wake of Inferno is irredeemable. It doesn't hit targets. No matter how much you bump it, it's just going to track behind stuff and keep missing. So... And technically, this build would have failed by now if I was actually playing seriously. But I'm stopping and chatting and horsing around with like stuff, and it's not a big concern. That ripped through that a lot faster than I thought it would. And so far, it does actually feel good enough that I would feel comfortable giving this a red background. Like if we were actually concentrating on it. So, question is, how the heck is a trapper supposed to finish the game? Max death LS, but what happens whenever you have lightning immunes? Dragon Talon. Hey, Bob, how's it going? Oh, thank you, Nonivus. I still love those stickers. Those are awesome stickers. Ah, it helps out a ton. Let's see. But yeah, Dragon Talon is your answer to lightning immunes. Thanks for the streamer luck. Hopefully you have found a lot of good things. May you find 12 Stones of Jordan in one sitting. I mean, you can go pure traps. You then wouldn't have a really good answer to lightning immunes then, though. Because what happens is, yeah, you can deal with most of the issues. And if you have an Infinity Mercenary, you can go pure traps. But what happens is you need to get that first kill so Death Sentry can start popping things. If you're dealing with like a pack of lightning immunes, you'll want to lead like a fire immune to them or something. So 12 Stones of Jordan in one sitting, you'll retire. Nah, if you get 12 Stones of Jordan in one sitting, go get a freaking lottery ticket, my dude. If you level Fire Blast early on, you can spam it pretty decent. Yeah, that works too. I usually level it whenever I'm doing a trap sin. I level it to a base level of 18 to get the maximum number of shots for Death Sentry, which is 11. So, but my setup for a Death Sentry kind of like, even if I'm doing Dragon Talon to support it, because you can do Dragon Talon or you can do Blade Fury, or you can sort of support it with Fire Blast and a Mercenary, is I'll get Death Sentry and Lightning Sentry up, then I'll get this to 18, and then I'll level synergies. And hell, is it viable? It's doable. It's kind of like doing Firebolt as your side spell to Blizzard or something like that. It's doable. It's not really convenient. At least not in my opinion. Oh yeah, we need to do Ancients first. Hey, Ancients! Let's go and get Burst of Speed. Yes, I see you there. And these things probably do not stand any chance against me because I am just throwing that much fire out. That said, you can actually make Fire Blast kind of scary if you do go pure traps. But it's more scary for like players and stuff or Act 5. Whereas like if you're doing like Maggot Lair and you're in your 70s, it's going to be a little bit less pleasing. Anything in? No, nothing in there. Just full rejuves that I can tuck away. Sticking all the full rejuves in my pack. I mean, if you have Infinity, pure traps is entirely a thing. It's just like pure lightning Javazons can be a thing after you've beaten the game. You don't have to have the jab to actually beat the game. It's just convenient and nice. I prefer having jab. Nothing says you have to full clear, yeah. You could get a teleport staff and just teleport past the lightning immunes. I like full clearing though. I don't like recommend builds that can't. As they need other damage source from physical. Nothing says you have to full clear. Trapsin is amazing in so many areas. Just skip the places that you can't deal with, yeah. That's pretty much what most people do whenever they're farming with it. And now that the Trapsin bug for bosses is not a thing, it's actually a fairly decent farming one for like the pits and stuff. You haven't done a Trapsin because you're on console and you're not sure about the placement. The placement isn't terrible. There is a little quirk about it that you're going to have to get used to. Like, on console, if I was like right here and I was facing, if I can get myself to face that way. If I was like right here and I was facing this way, it sometimes wouldn't cast because it thinks you're clicking like right there. Because it puts it a specific distance from you if you're not targeting an enemy. But if an enemy was like right here, it would auto-target on the enemy and drop the trap there. It's not as efficient as doing it with keyboard and mouse, but it's still not bad, if that makes sense. So it's just one of those where it's kind of like, this is Not the worst thing ever. I can deal with this. Because you'll still be able to kill stuff with it. It's not that bad. But... And the way I know that it behaves that way on console is because we've actually switched over to doing traps on the 2.3 playthrough character. We murder these guys' face real quick. So, are you looking forward to the new level 85 areas? It seems that should add some variety to the run search after all these years. Maybe. I want to be to the rune search after all these years. Well, level 85 isn't necessary for rune hunting either, though. But it is a area at summit. So, beep. There we go. It's okay. I figured out what you meant. You want to be able to tackle whatever comes within reason. Yeah, I like being able to kill everything, so that's one reason why I do mix stuff around. Oh, this. Oh, no, 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 no. No, you guys. There you go. That was more painful than I thought it was going to be. Okay. Jab needs to be closer to Zeal, but not better. Yeah. Keep it at 3 pokes. Make it fast. Make it more... They need to give it a damage boost, I think. Other than that, I think it's fine. Either that or a speed boost. But yeah, runes, you only need level 81 plus, and you can get every rune in the game. So cows can drop Zod. It's not a big deal. But more level 85 areas does make my farming routes more interesting. It lets me... And that's one reason why I've changed it from a specific list of level 85 areas to choosing 2 level 85 areas for the class to do outside of the required path. That way you can at least guarantee you have 2 different locations to farm. 85 is for treasure class 87. It's for being able to get every unique in the game. You can't get every item in the game from there. There's charms that won't drop there, but they're super uncommon. They're Bale charms. Currently 75 or 85% damage. Jab is worse than your standard attack. Let's go ahead and try and murder these fools. I am going to drop down some traps. Just there, just to have traps. I think we'll be okay. Let's go ahead and get you going. We want to see which one is going to be the easiest to kill. And I think, yeah, we should be fine. Let's take down Maddock. Talik is going to be the worst one. Oh, they're all dead. That wasn't too bad. Didn't even use a potion. But yeah, generally speaking, if you're farming level 85 areas, what you're hoping for are things like Arachnid's Mesh, Alzorath. Trying to just think off the top of my head which ones are in there. There's a whole list. It's all the super uncommon. Death's Web is another one you usually farm that for. When season starts, you want to do Pindle Skin runs mainly, since you can drop everything but 3 items. Yeah. A lot of things can actually do that. This build is actually doing pretty good. We haven't even swapped over to our oh crap setup, which this would be our oh crap setup. This would be where we're using Fade instead of Burst of Speed. So, yeah, we haven't needed our oh crap. I think we might switch over to oh crap for going through the Lightning Boys, but... Can you do an Uber run with this build to see how it does? I don't have the stuff set up for it right now. It would probably be kind of crappy for that. What you want on the Uber build, by the way, we'd want to switch over to Guillaume's. We'd want to be probably better off with our... Well, actually, no, that would be fine for our resists. We'd want to be switching over to T-Gods. We might want more Crushing Blow, and we'd probably want to get rid of Crescent Moon and Phoenix in favor of Storm Shield and... I'm trying to think what weapon we'd want. Maybe Death. Is it better to Pindle or Mephisto? Generally speaking, what I would do is choose an 85 area to run and then do Pindle at the end. Just like basically pick up Pindle at the end of any of your normal runs because he's super easy to do, and that keeps you from having to jump games so much. Does Magic Find help with Pindle? Yes. His drop quantity is gonna always be the same, but Magic Find will help it upgrade, yes. To like different uniques and stuff. So let's see. We've done Ancients. I don't feel like dealing Anya right now. She's just gonna be one of her things. So, do we have Gloams is the question. That's the main thing I fear on World Stonekeep level 2. Is just packs of Gloams. We've got zombies. We've got little trolley boys. Oh god, that actually hurts now from on a boss pack. Okay. And we got snakes. Okay, so we don't have Gloams. For Gloams, I would definitely consider doing the whole, like, let's go ahead. What? I don't want to speed him. You go in there. So do Frigid Highlands and Pindle? That works okay. God, that poison is terrible. I'm going to go to town real quick. I want to test one thing, and I'm going to probably regret this. So since we're heavily poisoned. Da-da-da. Okay, so... I want to go into him. I don't want to get near that. I want to actually see something. I'm trying to see if I can get the tick damage to kill me. But it looks like they might have actually fixed that bug for this. Because if you're in this and you're taking damage, it should flash red. But what was happening is there was a bug that was causing you to take 1 damage. But apparently it's not doing it. Okay. Sorry for, like, interrupting the whole stream for that. If Fist of the Heavens eats them for breakfast. I mean, the Holy Bolts do. The lightning doesn't. But that's not what I wanted. I want this. Imagine if they made Halls of whatever comes after Pindle a level 85 area. I doubt they ever will because of Neolithak. People already farm Neolithak, so having that be level 85 would kind of be bad. But honestly, you can still get a lot of good stuff there. You always do runs within an act, growing to hate the long loading screens. Yeah, I can feel that one. Unfortunately, most of my running nowadays, believe it or not, is going from Act 1 to Act 5, kind of like we've been doing today, except faster, of course, because I'm actually focusing on it. Like, this one we could have probably been done with in under an hour, but I'm chatty. Things are going pretty good. We're closing in on 2 hours, which is kind of like the goal for the stream. Like, we are still going to do a little bit of Mr. Dinglehopper Smith, the fire druid. Not going to do a full run through on him, but we will mess around with him a bit. Because I want to try him out as well. Hi, mighty boys. Murder! It works for us. And see, we're not super poisoned. It's just slowly going down now. Really looking forward to Hydrasaur since you have to level her yet, and Hydra looks fun. Hydra is looking really enjoyable in 2.4. That is one of the builds I am looking forward to playing whenever it launches. I don't know if I'm going to do the Zoomancer run or not, but we might. Where at the start of the ladder, I just make a game and only people that are invited are Zoom answers. Because I don't care about getting number one. I care about having fun. That's what the whole reason of playing a video game is for me. You just finished work at 4 a.m.? Ah. I have been there. Before they removed my job position at my last place, I actually worked until 4 a.m. Which was really handy during the beginning of the pandemic because I didn't have to deal with people. Because nobody was in there until like 7 a.m. And the start of my job each day was not on the dealing with public. So I only had to deal with like 5 people the entire time. But yeah, then they got rid of my job position while I was on job protected leave. Which apparently means that your job is no longer protected if they change the hours of your job. They didn't change the task, they just changed the hours. And no, we didn't use a potion there. Let's see. You hate Travancore in hell. That's why you're reluctant to even mention them for Magic Find. You're struggling with your gold barb until you respec. Honestly, I like Paladin for the Travancore, personally. Just go with it, just solid Zealot. Get like 250% Magic Find, which is actually pretty easy on a Zealot. And just pop them down. And you can get gold find too. Get some dwarf stars for some gold find. It's just a lot less stressful than berserking everything and praying you have enough life to kind of stick through it. You enjoy what you do Saturday night, DJ, not so bad? Ah. I didn't enjoy what I... Well, I actually... It's going to sound stupid. I enjoyed part of what I did. I didn't enjoy the entire job. But... now I am still living on savings and whatever YouTube brings, which the YouTube end of things is helping things out. YouTube and Patreon are making my savings that I thought was only going to last like a couple months last quite a bit longer, which is a good thing. So I'm going to put up that because I don't trust these. We didn't get ambushed. Let's go ahead and nuke you. When in doubt, nukes out. Regardless. Hey. I am glad that it's working, that it's enjoyable. And that's why I say all support is 100% welcome and 100% helpful. It really is making things a lot more tolerable. I just feel guilty like asking for it is one of the weird things. That's one reason why you haven't seen a Patreon video, even though they say left and right, oh, you should be promoting your Patreon in every video. It's like, that feels like begging and it feels dirty. I am doing something that I would be doing whether I had a job or not. I'm just doing it more often now. And I'm doing it on multiple channels. Because I'm trying to get the review channel up. I'm trying to get this one going with multiple games. This and other action RPGs. This is always going to be straight action RPGs. And then the art channel. The clap speed of Fist of Heaven's Paladin, Javazon, and Novasaurus will reign. Nova is going to be dangerous. I don't think the 200 faster cast rate Nova is going to be the one that people should be worrying about. I mean, it's good. Don't get me wrong. I'm still standing by the Infinity Sorceress is going to be scary. You are still... Get back here. Let's go and get Burst of Speed and start doing this. There we go. Ouch! You hit me in the nose. Let's go Go ahead and back off of that, because we are decrepified. That's why we need bursts of speed up. And I will check chat in just a minute. I'm concentrating on these bumpkins. And I didn't want the Kraken Shell. I want that Cryptic Axe. It's only 2 socket. Nope. Let's back off. He's going to drop out those. They're going to be taking damage. No, mercenary. I kind of saw that one coming with the Hydras. Okay, so we'll check chat. Diablo 2 noob, and so far your favorite content creator. Keep up the hard work. I am glad that is helpful, Slug. There are a number of other creators that are definitely worth checking out. If you ever need a suggestion list, people actually do mention them quite a bit in the comments, so they should show up. I shouldn't feel bad. Many people honestly forget if you don't remind them sometimes. Forget to donate. 1 thumbs up stuff all the time unless the channel has regular reminder. I am glad you think I am the bomb.
Can I help?
Hopefully I don't completely bomb. Let's see. We need Rejuve Potion. I think we have 1 in there. So basically you don't have to invest a lot of points into traps. Just for a lot of builds, yeah, you just do 1 in Death Sentry and you use it as kind of a Corpse Explosion support. It doesn't do as much damage as Necrocorpse Explosion, but it's fine. I actually use that on the base Blade Fury Assassin. Like, we would use that as kind of like the support skill. If you're doing, say, a Kixin, having 1 point in it can help you do cows a lot faster. It can be a 1-point wonder just because it is a % damage and that % does not go up as you put points in. So, and I almost forgot, I came to town to revive Chingus McDingus. I had forgotten that I hadn't ever redeemed that. And yes, I transferred over a few characters just so I could have 2 of each class. Thinking Dual Claw Death Sentry. Like, maybe using Dragonclaw, do Dragonflight into things, Dragonclaw to finish off your last 2 charges, and then just nuke things. That would actually be halfway decent. That's one of the things we were talking about on Tuesday. Was how that could be a potential way to release all 3 charges. And it would actually be somewhat effective. It wouldn't be a pushover of a build, basically. And that is a potential use of... Let's go ahead and just drop some traps just to have them. Oh, he's mana burn, which sucks for me, but if we can get 1 corpse, we're fine. And you can see this is not doing bad. We're actually going full Kixin right now. There you go. 3 socket. Yes, we keep that. Heraldic Shield. 2 socket. Actually, we will keep that. I want to make a Splendor. And that's just a good junk Splendor. But Dragonflight into Dual Claw is a thing. Is there any indication when 2.4 will go public? And I don't mind answering it. It does get asked quite a bit, but if I hear anything, I will tell for sure, and I will repeat it if people ask. Basically, it is not announced yet. I have a feeling it's going to be in probably 2 weeks. That's my guess. I don't have any insider information or anything like that, but I'm guessing that we're going to see test this week. We're going to see probably a balance shift in it, probably in a week, and then we'll probably see another week of testing, and then it'll probably go live. That's my guess. But like I said, I don't have a contact at Blizzard. I don't have any kind of like insider information, so it's just like whatever I can kind of hope for is what I go with. And that would be kind of like fitting the normal MO. Let's just go full kick. There you go. See? He dies. Act 7 and 8. Oh no, I gotta delete my whole VOD. Is there any... yeah. I'm not gonna pull that kind of... While I'm a fan of, as far as like clickbaity kind of stuff, The main thing I'll do is I'll tease at stuff. I'll be like, hey, I'm doing such and such a build, but I'm going to keep such and such part of it secret. Or, oh no, we're on the last part. Will we survive Bale? And then cut off the episode there. That is more my style. I'm not a big fan of like half saying a word and then expecting people to kind of like pull from that. It makes me feel dirty. So I generally don't do it. But I mean, it's fun to do for some people, and I don't mind it when people do it to me. It's just
Good afternoon.
one of those things. And yes, I did sell that for money. AB is going to be put pressure on the devs to deliver 2.4. We're going to see 2.4 before March 1st so they can show the numbers for Q2 earnings. Oh, we'll definitely see it before March. I think we might see ladders start March 1st, but I'm guessing probably the first week of February. No, it would be the second week of February, because it would be released on Tuesday. This Tuesday will be 1 week, and then next Tuesday will be, yeah, it would still be the first week of February. You're holding off starting your second playthrough, looking forward to the 2.4. The online portion of 2.4, if you have access to the PC version, is worth kind of like messing around in. The things that I would look at for sure, if you're looking at maybe starting a build in 2.4 to test it out, is one, this build, the martial arts assassin, is definitely a change. Try out a Hydra. I would try out... I wouldn't bother with the Holy Fire Den. I would... Mostly what I would try out is sadly on the assassin. Because a lot of the other things, like, we're going to save and exit real quick. I'm going to go switch characters. But we've been just kind of messing around with various things. The poison javelins are going to be a lot better through Nightmare. Where is Harry? There he is. Oh, I didn't transfer the shield over to him. I need the armor and the shield. The way I know this, by the way, is I use Go Mule to transfer the stuff usually. So it doesn't reflect the armor changes on here if you use Go Mule, because it's weird. It's a weird little fuzzle thing. But, oh god, the loading. Oh yeah, I had junk in his hands. Oops. Okay. I forgot to take that off. You just go in there. But yeah, all we need is actually the shield. We'll be fine with the rest of it. So I'll transfer Phoenix over to him. You're waiting for them to announce S2 PTR, so hopeful that they'll put in more aggressive changes for us. Actually, iteratively test while not under the gun to get the ladder out. I don't know. What I honestly, and this is going to sound like a weird suggestion, is what would be kind of interesting is if instead of doing like 2.4 patch, 2.5 patch PTR, kind of stuff like that, is if they had just a constant PTR realm that they just leave up for, like, say, a week. Maybe every other week just have a week of a PTR realm with some changes to, like, one class. Maybe two classes that people can test out and say, this is good, this is bad. Then close that PTR down, do some more tinkering and stuff like that, release another PTR after that. And then after you've gotten all 5 classes up to a point, release 2.5. Like, every ladder season, just do another big patch, have the new patch have the new rune words, and stuff like that. Amazon or Sorceress is what you're thinking of trying next. The Poison Javazon is going to be a lot better for a starter character now than she was before because of the duration limitation. So she's going to be a really good starter. I mean, the Sorceress is always going to be a good one because she has teleport, but it's fine. Let's go ahead and go... Yeah, just hell is fine. On the Sorceress, Hydra Orb is going to be a really good starter build. What you do is you'll go down to Fireball and use it basically like a Fireball Sorceress until you get up to about 30. And then you will transfer the... And I need a token for him as well. Oh, and the amulet. We'll do it without the amulet. I want to test out Armageddon. I don't want to actually do a full run with him. So, Harry, play hell. But you'll do Fireball, and then as soon as you get to 30, you'll be doing pretty much all of your points into Orb, but you'll be doing any of your, like, quest points, like Den of Evil in, say, whatever, Nightmare, your Book of Skills, your Iswal quest, you'll be doing those into Hydra until Orb is maxed, and then you'll be dumping the rest into Hydra, and then maxing out the synergies for Hydra after that. So you'll have a high-level Orb to kind of help you push through things. Oh, we actually have a lower Mara's on him. That's fine. So what I want is we are going to get enough strength for our gear, of course. That's fine. I think I over-clicked there by a little bit, but it's okay. Everything's equipped. Yep. So we have our full tree available. So let's go ahead, and I'm just going to dump all into Vitality because whatever. But what I want to try out is actually getting Armageddon up. And just going max Armageddon on this one. Because the one that I run is usually these 4 right here with a summon. You really wish the elemental paths were separated for the druid. Same here. I really do. Armageddon is not worth it. If it had kind of like... If Armageddon had the kind of like just steady AoE damage of Hurricane, then I could understand it. Like, if these were swapped as far as their damage patterns, then I could understand Armageddon having that. But frankly, it doesn't have the punch to do that. So we've got Volcano, Molten Boulder, and Fissure as those. So that is not great damage, not terrible. And then we just dump the rest into Firestorm. And we have 0 skill points left because we're at level 90. We can't even like fully invest in those. If we didn't have to invest in these, we could actually max this out and get 1 point into Oak Sage. And we have 18 in Raven because of our helmet. Now, one thing I can do, and I'm going to do it for this one, is swap that out. That gives me a bear and a barb. And it gives me a little bit of extra Volcano, but that doesn't matter too much. But basically, this is a Flickering Flame helmet. This is one of the reasons why I pick up all the whites, because I found this ages ago, and it was a white helm, so I went in and put sockets in it, and it's gonna be fun. So, the only downside is we do not have Oak Sage. Okay, so ENF on those. And that's going to be F4 there.
Not here.
And then F5, F6. Let's see. Didn't take note of the advice on your first playthrough and went pure Summoner Necromancer off the bat. Found Diablo normal was a giant pain in the ass. There is a trick to doing it, but that is one reason why whenever I'm saying, oh, here are new starter builds, and I know that generally speaking, whenever you first play a game, you don't want to sit there and watch or read a like 30-minute guide on all the little detailed nuances and stuff like that. That's one reason why I don't recommend Summoner for starting out, is so you can just get in and play and be fine. Do a Bone Necromancer. It's a lot more straightforward. You know that you have what you need to go through. Whereas if you go Summoner, you have to do the Clay Golem trick on him. But pure Summoner can do... It's actually a really strong build through normal. You just have to have Iron Maiden and a Clay Golem for dealing with Diablo specifically. And it's pretty handy for Duriel too. Okay, so let's see if we can make this work. Okay, so we have a really long duration on this anyway, so I don't have to worry too much about recasting it. But the thing I don't like about Armageddon is its attack pattern is absolute ass. So we can switch over to Volcano. Oh, ouch. Yow. But if you hit them, they just die. That's at least a plus. So that did definitely hurt a little bit. Hey, Diego. What's up with Ravens? They are kind of a neat idea, but clunky as hell right now. In my opinion, what I would actually like to see on Ravens, and I know this is going to be kind of an odd opinion on them, I want to see them become not necessarily an aura, but something that you keep on your right click that will just summon the Ravens as they go down. So you'll just always have 5. As soon as one dies, it'll just automatically summon a new one. So yeah, basically like an aura that just has 5 Ravens flying around all the time. That's kind of what I would like to see from it. So you don't have to do all the maintenance nonsense on them. As it stands, it's just clunky. Armageddon isn't worth it. You'd rather do a hybrid Volcano, Fissure, Boulder, and Hurricane Cyclone. I wouldn't do a hybrid. Normally. I mean, I could consider doing like an... Mainly because you're just splitting your damage too much. But having these 4 up here do a ton of damage regardless. I mean, this helps the fire damage of Volcano a little bit, but it's a few thousand damage per boulder. But these 4 and then doing a summoner, or these 4... Actually, it would just be these 4 and doing a summoner would be fairly decent. And I can see doing these 3 and a shapeshifter being a decent one. Our shockwave one was absolute butt. That was a horrible build. But I could see doing like Hurricane Maul, because Maul can actually get up to decent physical damage. But yeah, generally speaking, if you're doing Fire Druid and it's going to be these top 4 are your workhorses, Armageddon is just like, oh, lols. It does damage when it hits. And you're doing like a 100-point investment in just fire. So yeah, this one's not bad. Let's just go do a cow run with it, because that's going to be where Armageddon is gonna actually shine. I forgot I reset the map on this guy. But you can see, whenever you're just running around, it's not going to do too much. The trick is with this is you want to be running in a straight line, so you limit the number of areas these can spawn, because they're going to start dropping behind you, and you're just basically leaving a trail of them behind you. So you have a better chance of hitting the things back there. You can see how we're kind of like aiming it. It's still not super accurate, but it just leads them through it so they have the biggest chance of actually getting hit. Let's see, and the beetles will wreck you. Beetles are one of the nastier enemies in the game. And it's not even just their lightning stuff. Like, you can have good lightning resist and not have it be a problem. But they have a jab attack. They're basically Act 2 mercenaries, except with lightning enchanted instead of Holy Freeze. Just play Traps in, you're done, or Boas on. Actually, I really liked the martial arts assassin we just did. Which, speaking of which, I need to flash the recording there. There we go. You saw a pretty neat Druid proc build that used Hurricane and procs for Stormlash Windhammer on a Fury Wolf, running wind skills for synergies. I need to test the attack speed thing. That's one thing that I haven't done. I've been hearing that it's complete butt, the change to Druid things, which is a bad thing. Because what I keep hearing is that they put the cap at the cap for the human form, which means that it will be slow as balls. Which is not what I want to be hearing. I need to put you on 4 and you on 3. So I have those close together. So follow the yellow brick road. Now, one nice thing about Armageddon is it is physical fire, so. Where is our... Oh, we're in Darkwood, Toip. That's why we don't have a map. But, yeah, Druid proc could be interesting. I can see where that build is going. But yeah, this build is not bad on Players 1. It does what it needs to do. And it just stays the hell out of the way. And I don't think I have Mercenary. Oh, yeah, I do have him equipped. I knew I had this guy mostly equipped. That's why he was the other choice. If you're wondering what I'm using, it's a Phoenix Berserker Axe and a Phoenix Monarch. We could use Hand of Justice with it if we wanted to. It wouldn't be that bad. It'd be a little bit less fire damage. Yeah. I'll probably actually use the footage that we captured during, like, the first part of this as the kind of, like, guide background footage. How I include, like, the boss fights and, like, some random areas every now and then. But I'll probably use that for it. And I actually need to pick that up. But I don't see myself skipping out on the other parts of the test, because I do actually want to test it in level 85 areas as well. That's just a little bit more boring to watch. I can't stand sitting and watching people magic find all the time, so yeah. I would rather watch actual progression through the game. But yeah, the martial arts assassin will get some love, because I think it was definitely deserving of it. And I know most people are like going like bar tucks and stuff with it, which I guess is fine, but I like that ignore target defense so I can actually get the charges up more consistently without having to invest 1.5 million points into dexterity. So off to town we go. You have no idea how to play it? It's actually, with the changes, the Phoenix Strike Assassin is like 1,000,000 times simpler to play than it used to be. The new rune word's going to work on non-ladder. Want to try an Act 5 Mercenary with the Taunt Proc Sword. Online, doubtful. I'm pretty sure that the new rune words are going to be ladder only, and then they're going to become non-ladder after the ladder ends. So it's going to be a few months before you can do the Taunt Proc Sword unless you get it on ladder. But right now, and I'm going to have to make one of each of the rune words. I haven't made them all yet, but I need to make them in single player, because you can make them in single player right now. So you might be able to like make them on like your single player characters and try them out that way. But multiplayer, no. Do you think the new 85 areas will make a difference in gameplay and what players run? That's kind of a tough question. It's yes and no. I think you'll have veteran players running a lot of different areas, but people who are stuck in a rut and just like do their own usual build, I don't think will actually change their usual pattern. I think there will be those people who have run Blizzard Sorceress since September 23rd to this day and will run Blizzard Sorceress after the changes, just because it's what they know, it's what they're familiar with, and they don't want to go outside of their norm. But I think it will open up the ability to farm with more characters and give more diversity. But I don't think it will make any of these newer builds worth more, except for maybe the Holy Fire Paladin will bump up the price of Sur Runes. Yeah, fire builds are definitely more viable for farming now. They were viable before. It's just a lot of people focused on the level 85 areas. And you don't need the level 85 areas to get good stuff. There's only a few items that you, like Arachnids and Mesh and stuff like that, that you generally will be farming a level 85 area for. Like Death's Web is another one that you farm that for. So yeah, these guys, not too tough. But before, this is only slightly faster than it was before. Ow, I shouldn't have just stopped in the middle of a pack of cows. I wasn't paying attention to the game, I'm sorry. But you can see this does cows just fine. And with the... Oh, hi. Nice. He's immune to fire. Oh no, whatever shall we do? Volcano! Go! Do I need any potions? Yes, I do. Okay, so yeah, it's fine for this. It's about the same as it was before. It's a little bit more smooth to play because you actually have fast boulders, you have non-overlapping cooldowns, so you can actually just spam stuff a little bit more, but it's not exactly like significantly stronger to like where you really make or break it as a build to play. It just feels better to play. You don't need level 85 to not get good items. True. But you can get every rune in the game from level 81 up. You can get, because like you can get every rune possible in cow level. For those of you that are wondering, you can get Zods here. You just don't get a lot of rune drops because they're not junk droppers. I mean, you'll still get them just because of the sheer number of cows, but yeah, this is about how the Fire Druid played before. Except you weren't able to quickly, like, whip out a boulder on their face. And yes, I actually prefer Fissure over Volcano for general use. I only use Volcano whenever I'm dealing with fire immunes. Yeah, the special effects for them, I like the fire skills in D2R in general. They are awesome. They are very well done. The lightning is... I actually like the lightning in D2R as well. Especially Thunderstorm, which makes me really disappointed it's really not worth getting. But I like it a ton. The cold stuff, it doesn't feel significantly different to me, but let's double check these. That's 4 socket. I'll go ahead and keep it for reasons. But yeah, I'm hoarding white items. I've been hoarding them since before D2R even launched, but yeah. It works out pretty good. So I think, since we actually leveled up one of our bonus characters, I'm going to go ahead and probably call that a stream. I don't know if I'll have a video tomorrow. I might, but we will probably be having another 2.4 stream on Tuesday. Probably test out more builds. If you want to see specific builds, I wait until the stream ends. Any reason not to use both Fissure and Volcano? This comes off of cooldown like fast enough after casting the Molten Boulder that... Here, I'm going to show real quick. This... We cast this, and then this comes off of cooldown not too long after doing the boulder thing. You can sometimes get 2 boulders in and then Fissure. The cooldowns are perfectly fine with that. If you're rotating through the skills, you're going to rotate to the next skill and not really be able to juggle it. If you were using the quick cast, you could probably actually juggle them like that. But it's more cast rate than cast delay.
I need a key.
Because I don't have a lot of faster cast on this guy. If I had a lot of faster cast, that would even be more viable. But anyway, I'm going to go and call it a stream. If you guys enjoyed this, be sure to give it a like. Wait until the stream ends. If you want to actually leave a comment down below, you just wait until the stream ends, then you refresh the page and leave a comment if you want to actually have a specific build on Tuesday that you want to see or specific idea. Can't promise I'll cover them, but I can look at them and choose which one looks like fun. So keep gaming, have fun, peace out. This has been Alzorath. Bye.